time on Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Oh, it's Nick.
Shoot! Hold it!
I forgot it was Nick.
I know. I had to very quickly stop myself, and then I'm like,
I'm not used to that. How can you be so sure?
first, we got this letter. It says shoot in the forehead, loud and clear. Yeah, we also found the defendant's pistol at the scene. Yeah,
Traces of gunpowder residue shows that it had been fired. Why are you laughing?
the freaking accent. Oh my god.
They're gonna be like, you're ruining him.
You know, I really liked your playthroughs before, and then that happened, and oh my god, you ruined my boy.
What does the letter tell us? That the defendant had a reason he couldn't refuse his teacher's wishes.
That's why the defendant popped him one in the forehead.
Oh, the defense disagrees.
I mean, actually, I do. If he didn't shoot the victim's forehead, what did the defendant shoot? The clown doll?
You will shoot one shot square in the forehead, which is exactly what he did.
Yeah, so what if he shot the clown? He still shot the victim, pal.
So let me get this straight. You're saying my client first shot the clown, then shot the victim?
Hey, not a bad summary, pal.
The court would like to see the pistol in question.
This pistol only holds one bullet at a time. If he had shot the clown in the forehead, he couldn't have shot the victim too.
You wanted to know about the night of the incident. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time and found 2 pistols. Then I took the pistol into my hand. In the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. Mr. Roy!
Mr. Wright, your presence. What?
Your
Fine,
presence.
Jerry. No, Jerry, you go. It's fine. No, it's fine.
Will you flipping it, Michael? Will you give it a rest?
I was just starting, and you interrupted me. It's okay. It's all right. Well, you just finish saying the line,
For God's
then.
sake, will you, Michael, shut up!
2 pistols were used in the Zack and Valant quick draw shoot-'em.
Yet, only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night.
According to the defendant, Zack Gramery, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols. One of the pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead, then he left with it in his pocket. The rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Valant. Recall what Prosecutor Gavin told us. If he compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from this gun, the rifling marks are a perfect match. Mr. Valant, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Disillusion Plays Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, where we play the games and do the voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Taylor.
Nice.
Nice.
Jump back on in. We've got some fancy Phoenix Wright music to listen to.
That's it. Some classic themes.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
Wait.
I forgot about
Mustacheless Valant.
Mustacheless Bananaman.
Banana.
I'm just going to rave out to the
Rave.
witness testimony.
I'm not sure I'd rave to the testimony theme, but... Okay, so I'm going to read through all these because I don't remember where we were.
No.
So, I arrived in the hospital room at the appointed time, which is to say 11:20 p.m. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation, then called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived.
Doctor Who.
He was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10 p.m. And the one in the room at that time was my partner, not me. But like, so hang on a second. But then, yeah, so we've got the evidence that's like, no, it was actually earlier or later. But...
No.
Yeah, Zach come at 11:05. And he came at 11. Shoot. Okay.
Yes, that's what he did.
All right, let's proceed to do the usual ritual of pressing everything.
Now remember,
Taylor.
It's Taylor, not Pete.
Hey, I know. It's if Taylor remembers. Taylor. Taylor.
Huh?
Taylor.
It's you.
You gotta do the. You gotta do the Nick.
Do the take
Hold
that.
it. Are you ready?
Oh.
You ready?
Uh-huh. Objection!
No.
Wait. No. Hold it. 11:20 p.m. Can you prove that's when you arrived?
Alas, such a feat may be beyond even the great Valant. For there was no one in the room but Magnifi. and he was departed. After a fashion.
I have your defendant. Sarah laughed before I even did the.
Yes, I forgot.
Yeah,
I
because she
knew
knew
what
what was
was
going to happen.
coming.
That's it. It was she left in anticipation.
She loved
I have here-
anticipation.
Defendant Zach Kramer's sworn deposition.
Swan. Oh, Jesus
Swan.
Christ.
I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time.
Schnuck.
What?
No snook. No sneaking or snooking. No.
It was.
No. No. Stop. You're ruining the serious moments.
It was 10 minutes before I left the room, and the victim was still alive.
Still alive.
alive. After the sneaking.
The snooking. After he sneaked.
After he snooked it.
After he sneaked. We have to snook into the building.
Oh, you
I will
stop.
sneak. All right, I'm sorry. I will stop.
You will stop?
I will stop.
Oh, you stop it. God. Ah.
Yeah, I will stop, Fräulein.
Taylor, I will stop proceeds to do it like literally in the sentence.
Hi, Sarah.
Don't you flipping butter up?
No, you started this. It's your fault.
Yes.
Yeah, Pete.
No, you stop it.
I haven't done this.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, I know. That's why
stop it to
that's
him.
why he's saying, yeah, Pete, like it's my bloody fault.
The time indicated by this letter to Zach was 11:05 p.m.
See, why don't you have a merry you? Merry gavel you.
Exactly. Which means the witness could not have entered that room before 11:15. Because his partner was still in the middle of his crime.
Damn it. I got the still. And I can see Sarah struggling to do it because she's like trying anything to not let her face crease. But she's like,
I see someone did their arithmetic homework.
You see, the defendant himself has corroborated the witness's testimony. Does that all make sense?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't pay attention to any of it because of your stupid stuff at the
You
beginning.
my stupid shtick.
Your stupid shtick, which should have a sh sound at the beginning of it, but that was shtick.
Freaking hell.
So I have no idea. I wasn't
I don't
paying any
know.
attention.
I guess let's go back for a second. Let's check the history.
Oh, you don't go, not a problem. Right, what is it? So
Not a problem.
Okay, I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. It was 10 minutes before I left the room, and the victim was still alive. The time indicated by this letter to Zach was 11:05 p.m., which means the witness could not have entered the room before 11:15 because his partner was still in the middle of his crime. You see, the defendant himself has clearly corroborated the witness's testimony.
I snuck into his room. I have defendant Zach Gramerry's sworn deposition. I snuck into the room at the appointed time. It was 10 minutes before I left the room. The victim was still alive. He came in at 5 past. Means the witness could not have entered the room before that because of his partner's. So, but then
What's our court record have again?
it's like 11:20, isn't it?
11:20 was when Valant came in,
Yes.
or should have come in,
Yes.
and that's Zach's.
Yes. So yes,
Is it
like,
the
does-
guns?
What do you mean? Is it the guns?
There's only
Fires one real bullet, barrel marks match bullet found in victim, no fingerprints found. We obviously don't have the second gun. I'm inclined to think that yes, it does make sense. Honestly, at the minute, I'm not. Unless I'm. I mean,
I feel like whenever they give us this choice, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I also kind of feel.
Can you prove that's when you're alive? Alas, such a feat may be beyond it. But there was no one in the room. Magnifi, Stupor is dead. Zach Grammy's sworn deposition.
Deposition. Nice.
Stuck into his room that night at the appointed time. It was 10 minutes before I left the room. The victim was still alive. The time indicated by this letter to Zach was 11:05 p.m.
This letter to Zach. Oh yeah, the time indicated by this letter. It was 10 minutes before I left the room. It's the weird that I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time.
It was 10 minutes before I left the room, and the victim was still alive.
And we're saying that this...
But I thought the victim was dead when he got in there.
Well, this is saying that this is Zach's deposition, though, right?
Oh.
And we're saying, yeah, so I don't see a problem with this.
He would have... If he was in there for 10 minutes, surely he'd have seen Valant somewhere.
No, because he came in at 11:05, but Valant comes in at
11:20.
Yeah, that's 15 minutes after.
But you'd think that... okay.
He might meet, yeah.
Unless
might
he's
pass
going to,
him in
instant transmission and be there on the dot.
like,
surely he's got to be there somewhere.
You'd think he'd pass him in the hallway or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I don't think that's really relevant. Which means the witness could not have entered that room before 11:15. Which, yeah, is true, because otherwise he would have seen Zach. Because his partner was still in the middle of his crime, which, no. You see, the defendant himself has corroborated the witness's testimony. I think this does make sense at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't see any problem with that testimony.
You say so.
don't say that, Judge. Now you've instilled doubt.
Let's continue, shall we?
So yeah, let's do the rest of the cross-examination and see what comes to light. Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that, so Zach said he snuck into his room at the appointed time, 7:05. It was 10 minutes before he left.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way that he could have gotten in the room before 11:15 because the partner was still in the... I guess that does make sense. I don't know. Hold it! You walk in on a murder and the first thing you do is shoot the clown?
The disciple does what the disciple must. My mentor's request, without reason, had caused for me a
it would be a word.
Surfeit.
Surfeit. It's all right. I just wanted to make sure that you said it, Taylor, before you then corrected me mid-sentence.
Had caused for me a surfeit of sorrow. For what would I, Valant, be now without him? May the soul of Magnifi, the great, find greater peace above. This I muttered to myself as I pulled that lonely trigger.
In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those right moments, Herr Attorney.
May I remind you that baseless remarks will earn penalties.
Penalty.
Proceed with that in mind.
Yes, Your Honor. Ugh, what a pain this is turning out to be.
Agreed. The doctor examined the body.
Oh, hold it! Did the doctor say anything concerning the cause of death?
Why, yes. I believe he screamed, "My God! He's been shot in the head!"
Doesn't take a doctor to notice that. My brother would have screamed the same thing.
And I would have penned the requiems that arose in my soul at that horrid sight. Ugh, whatever happened to good old-fashioned investigation? In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those right moments, Herr Attorney, so that makes me think that maybe it is on the first statement and we are just stupid.
Yes, but I want
sorry,
to make
stupid.
sure. I want to make sure that we have got all of the facts. It is possible that some other information may come to light.
Hang on! Wait, no. Hold it!
Did you just say he was very clear about 11? Time of death. Yeah.
I don't think I'm stepping out on a limb to say I have some doubts about this. How could the doctor be so precise with the time?
We do usually only get an estimated time of death, true.
Oh, because when I shot him, I took a photograph. At the precise moment. Oh, I mean, when the other guy... crap!
I'm not sure I've heard of a verified time of death.
Magic
blue check mark and everything.
Magic revels in making the complex appear simple. But reality is the opposite. What appears complex in this case is a simple matter of subtraction.
I see another person has done their arithmetic homework.
The point here is the 4 the victim was taking. I mean, is the IVs the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph of the scene.
Oh.
Recall what we heard earlier about the victim Magnifi Grammary's schedule. Every night at 11 o'clock, Magnifi took an IV drip for 30 minutes.
Oh my
So
god.
the drip isn't in his arm.
The drip isn't in his arm. And looking at that, if that represents 30 minutes, then he's taken what? Not it's like what, 7-ish? Like not even 10 minutes worth. I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it'd be 5. So, or is that 10 minutes worth?
But they usually don't fill IV bags all the way up to the top either.
No.
Oh, so maybe it's not. Oh, I don't flipping know.
Fact is, if he's had his medication, why is his IV needle out on the side of the bed?
Yeah, because he could just roll over on that, stick himself with it.
Stick 'em.
Stick him.
I can see the IV bag right there, yes.
Now look a little closer. Follow the tube down from the bag to the end.
By Jove! It's not even plugged in!
The needle's been removed.
Doubtlessly, it fell out when...
Oh yes, because needle. Yes, they
And then-
just.
Beg pardon?
Wait, and then taped itself to the pillow.
Yeah, yes, needles just fall out like
Oh, wait,
that
wait,
when
wait.
you're connected to an IV.
Oops, wrong
Yeah,
one.
sure.
Wait, I guess it may not be. Yeah, I guess that's full. It's not. Yeah, okay, it's not taped to the bed. Silly me. It's just obviously it's got the tape on it.
I'm very
But-
sure it leapt out of his vein by itself.
Yeah, no blood spurt or anything from where
No.
it just...
Yeah.
Doubtlessly, it fell out when he was shot.
That would seem to be the case.
Oh my god.
What?
The judge obviously doesn't have a brain.
When the needle comes out, the IV no longer... I don't think that's right.
It's because it obviously operates on a valve.
Right, okay, guys. Note to self: do not ask Klavier for medical guidance.
Well, I mean that's a given, Sarah.
Flippin', tell me.
irrespective of this.
I'm just so confused. I mean, I get that there is a valve or something that you can turn off to prevent the flow, but it's just gravity, right? Like, there's not like your blood doesn't create like a frickin' vacuum that draws it out, unless I'm misunderstanding how IVs work.
You obviously misunderstand the magic of the
You know,
human body, Taylor.
It doesn't come out, and then when the needle tastes blood, it's like, oh, magically activated. I'll start dripping. Oh, I can't. Oh, there's no blood no more. All right, I best stop. I don't want to leak out all
It's
over the
because
floor.
it turns out that the IV, that the needle actually is a true modern day vampire. It senses blood and then it suddenly becomes excited and then allows the flow to happen. And
Christ.
I don't know.
You don't
When
get
the
this in
needle-
house.
Comes out, the IV no longer drips. Ah, you could just measure the remaining IV liquid. Precisely. The IV liquid functions for our purposes as an hourglass of sorts. This is how the doctor determines the time of death. From the amount remaining in the bag, it was determined that the IV had stopped 10 minutes after administration began.
Okay. So we do have more info now.
And so it was. When I, Valant, entered that room, 10 minutes had passed since that horrible crime was committed.
So if it was 10 minutes after, then that would have been...
And this is proof.
50. It would have been 11:15.
Yeah, so he
Is what he
couldn't
said.
he couldn't have died then, because if his drip was administered at 11, 10 minutes, that's 10 past 11.
Oh right. Yeah. Okay.
And then in the statement, he said
11:15.
Zach said he left at 11:15 and he was still alive. So
Well, Mr. Wright,
Did that seem important?
Yes.
Very important. Well, seeing how it is the biggest clue we have to the time of death, I'd say it's very important.
agreed. would be hard to imagine a more precise way to determine the time. Behold the power of arithmetic.
Oh, jeez.
Very well. Witness will add this detail to his testimony.
Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth.
You already said that one.
Yeah, and I'm saying it again. Okay, the water of life springs not eternal. The remaining IV liquid
Could you-
proves my innocence.
Could you perhaps speak normally?
Approximately 10 minutes had passed.
I think it's got to be that, right?
No, I don't think we put it on that. It doesn't feel right.
What's that? Where's Zach? Oh, hang on.
Where is it? Sorry. Yeah. Letter telling Zach to come at 11.
I forgot the state. Where's the statement?
What statement?
Did Gavin just?
He was
Oh.
Valant had just like said it. He was just saying
No,
it as
I mean
part of his
the-
previous.
No, yeah, she's talking about the most recent piece of evidence we've gotten, that one.
30 minutes required from the 10 minutes.
From the amount remaining, Ivy stopped 10 minutes after administration began.
Yes.
So, if it stopped, so he came in at 11:05.
Zach came in at 11:05.
Yeah.
So if it stopped after 10 minutes, that would be 11:15. Supposedly. Which is,
They're
before...
just waiting around for 5 minutes before shooting.
So yeah, it is proving his innocence at the moment.
Hold it! Did you notice the IV yourself by any chance?
When first I entered that room, the stench of gunpowder assailed me. Next, the mark of death upon my mentor's forehead. And then his left arm did I spy. A rose, drooping and wilted. Its thorn, the discarded IV needle.
Knocked from the vein by the force of the shot. Luckily for you.
Jesus.
Ow.
If that IV had not been there, why, you might be a suspect.
Josh, man. Oh my god.
Indubitably so. I might say it's thanks to my lucky color.
Your lucky color?
Indeed. Even today, I wear it proudly upon my suspect self. For it always, without fail, brings me luck. Why, when Zack and Valant won their first Magician's Grand Prix, yes, the very one held by the Association of International Magicians, I was adorned in this attire then, too. And our trophy? A bust. Ah, what a day that was.
Oh, this is one trip down memory lane no one needs.
My lucky color, yes, indeed. And that IV, too. I say, I think 'twas hued especially for me, Valant!
Isn't the IV green?
No, yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, it's green.
That does seem to be the case indeed.
Let's just have a little look. See
That looks pretty green to me.
Looks pretty darn green. Are you colorblind? Is that the take?
Has he thought he's been wearing a green suit this entire time?
Well, Mr. Wright, any thoughts on this testimony?
Okay. Valant sure looks happy with himself. Okay, how about this lucky color testimony? There's a contradiction. It certainly sounds like your lucky colors brought you plenty of luck. But not this time. Mr. Valant, your lucky colors betrayed you.
I don't like that Phoenix is getting cocky because I
No.
don't feel it was this important.
No.
But I'm afraid you've lost me.
Your Honor, the witness's testimony just now clearly contradicts the evidence.
I mean, it does.
What? Please recall my warning at the beginning of this cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Oh God. The warning of not trivial stuff, please. Baseless accusations.
Baseless
Oh no.
accusations will be duly penalized.
It's not baseless, but it is pretty trifling.
I do hope this latest accusation is well-based.
It is very based, Your Honor.
Don't worry, I've got all your bases right here.
They are belong
Oh,
to
I don't like
me.
this.
Very well. Let's hear the defense's claim. Where is your evidence that contradicts what Mr. Valant has told us?
This one.
Yep. Take that! The crime scene tells all, Your Honor.
Photo of the crime scene?
All this talk of color has me yearning for black and white, clear-cut simplicity. Tell us, Herr Wright, just where is the contradiction in this photo? My pleasure. And I assure you, it's quite simple. But I can't promise anything in black and white.
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say.
Yes.
What in this photo contradicts the witness's testimony?
Little bag.
The green goo. Take that!
The flubber.
Valant. Go,
Flubber.
yes, Pete.
Valant. What?
Oh, you were saying something.
I said the
Valant
flubber.
Grammary.
Can't tell we're working
You can't do
remote.
it. Work.
Sorry.
The flubber.
Valant Grammary. Let's get one thing straight.
About the flubber.
Why you left?
Why'd you pan away from me?
Why'd you
pan
Let's
away
get
from me?
one thing straight about your lucky color. It's yellow, yes?
Banana! Yes. Kind of takes the mystery out of it, but yes.
Something wrong with yellow, Mr. Wright?
It depends on your definition of yellow, I guess.
Yes, there is. Decisively wrong, in fact. Take another look at the photo of the crime scene.
I am just waiting for, well, I'm colorblind, so what of it?
What's this?
A photo of the crime scene.
Confusion? Doubt? Tell us. What do your elderly eyes spy?
Less of the elderly, thank you. Even my elderly eyes can see a problem here, Mr. Valant. Look at the IV bag.
Yes, the yellow bag. What is this? Photoshop? What foul magic?
It would be hard to call the IV liquid yellow. And I'm afraid no magic was involved in the taking of this photograph.
Is it AI generated?
The rabbits. I mean, I mixed up looking at the IV bag with the urine bag on the side of his bed.
Order! 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 What does this mean?
Whoa.
Objection! This is some kind of mistake!
Yes, Prosecutor Gavin.
Is it just me,
Your
Prosecutor?
face is a big mistake.
Is it just me, Prosecutor Gavin, or has your accent developed as we've been in this courtroom?
I have no idea what you mean, Your Honor. I mean, Herr Judge.
Your witness's mistake.
The greener they are, the harder they fall. I kill me. I suppose there's no substitute for experience. Valant Grammary, as you reminded us several times, your lucky color is yellow, but the IV is clearly not.
Well,
Which was my color of the day! Yes! This contradiction can mean only one thing. Objection! And to think, you almost had me. Huh? I see your true
true
colors.
Shining through.
That's not from Moana, Pete.
Oh,
Ace
thank you.
Attorney Phoenix Wright.
Oh, he said the thing. He said the thing, but it's in the wrong game.
Something you'd like to tell us, Prosecutor Gavin? As far as this court can tell, the witness's testimony does contradict the evidence.
Well, actually, you will see that there was a photo filter on this picture, and the bag was actually yellow.
What the
It is.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of white balancing?
What is this newfangled this newfangled lingo that you're telling me.
Yes, it is
I
trying to
forgot
find
to turn off mine Instagram filter. Oh, my
What's an
God.
Instagram?
Instagram.
Yes, a contradiction. One that I shall be pleased to hand right back to Mr. Right. How do you mean? How? Because the witness has made no mistakes. I agree at a glance that... Oh my God.
Is it because it's
actually
bluish? Is it because the bag's blue?
Yeah, it will be.
Oh, for God's sake.
It will be.
golden planet?
Yeah.
I agree at a glance. The IV liquid does appear a sort of greenish yellow. But I assure you, the liquid itself is quite yellow.
Yellow liquid? How could you say that? As far as I can tell from this photo, it's green.
To be fair, looking at that photo, it does kind of look like the white balance is.
yeah.
It's got a slight blue shift.
Yes, but what color is the IV bag itself? The bag? You mean the plastic bag on the hook?
Looks like a... want to say light blue.
Precisely. Figured it out yet. Put a yellow liquid in a blue bag and you get green. This, incidentally, is the liquid's true color.
I like how he just lifts up a new IV bag that's also in a clear bag for whatever reason.
This is not urine, I promise.
For whatever reason, this IV bag's different.
I did not have a viddle in the bag.
A Vidal.
I see. Your explanation does have the ring of truth to it.
As opposed to the
Objection!
the bangle of lies.
As I thought. There's no substitute for experience, Prosecutor Gavin. What?
What?
You may tell a good tale, but you've just proven something rather grave. Not gravy or gravely, but grave.
Mr. Nick, that's not very nice. I made
afraid-
a
For you.
mistake, okay?
I'm afraid I have no idea to what you are referring, Mr. Wright.
Grave? The liquid in the IV is yellow, yes. But how did this... Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah.
If it looked green to us, it would have looked green to him.
Yeah.
But how did this witness know that?
It's a green camera filter, yeah.
Oh, scheisse! It's quite unnatural when you think about it. You did think about it, didn't you?
Oh, the sack.
Did you just swear?
No.
No.
Maybe.
I think Pete did a swear.
I accidentally snuck out an S.
You snuck out?
I snuck out. I snuck.
You snuck a shizer.
Snucked. I would like to apologize to the entire country of Germany, by the way, just putting that one out there. Your Honor, the defense requests an explanation from the witness. At the scene of the crime, the IV liquid appears to be green. So, let me ask, how did the witness know the IV liquid was actually yellow?
MG. Alakazoo MG.
Did he swap the bag?
Alakazoo.
Order! 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 Mr. Wright, you will explain this at once.
Why do I have to explain it? He's the one who did the thing!
You're making the defense here. You're making a point. The witness clearly knew the color of the IV liquid. Ice color spelled wrong. So I'm sure it means something, but what?
Don't, you'll set him off.
Color.
I can think of only one possibility, Your Honor.
Your Uner.
The witness, Valant Grammary,
He's a liar.
has testified that the liquid was yellow because he knew the IV liquid's color.
Either he'd seen it before or he knew the color. Now the question is, if he knew the color, why? Syringe. Would the syringe be relevant?
Oh, yeah. You know what? He would know the color because he used the syringe to pull it out.
Wait, what do you mean?
He
to pull it?
actually, if he
got that-
removed an amount of liquid from
Yeah.
it equal to the time, to basically mess with the time frame,
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
explain
Oh
it.
yeah, actually, yeah, totally, yeah, right, yeah. So he knew the IV liquid's color.
From the facts before us, the answer is clear. The witness knew that the IV liquid was yellow. Why? Because he'd seen it before. But not inside the blue bag we see in the photo. I don't know why that stumbled over that. He saw the liquid by itself in a clear, colorless bag.
Do you think
Not
do you think you were going to say blue badger?
maybe.
No.
I suppose he would have had to. But I'm still not clear as to what this all means.
Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at a hospital? That's where you'll find your meaning, Your Honor. Objection! I'm afraid I find nothing. So what if he knew the IV liquid color? Leaves it getting excited over absolutely nothing to our teeny bopper fans, yeah?
What?
Objection!
What? To quote you, Gavin?
Teeny bopper?
The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time of death. A 30-minute hourglass with 20 minutes worth of sand remaining. Your claim, Prosecutor Gavin.
I remember it well.
I should hope so. It was only like 10 minutes ago. However,
Do we need a flashback, guys?
No, God.
Kaito, Junko, wait, no.
No, I was thinking
Kaito,
about
Tanko.
Lamiror.
Yeah, the last case, just flashback central.
Yep.
There's a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag. You see, one has sand, and the other one holds liquid.
Get to the point, Mr. Wright. Wait, I know. An hourglass uses sand, but wait a minute. I've got a weird sense of deja vu here. Have I said this before? Have I heard someone say this?
His inner voices.
An hourglass uses sand, but an IV bag uses liquid. I'm right. Right?
As much as it pains me to say this, Your Honor, no.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm right. It uses sand. An hourglass.
Unlike the sands through an hourglass, IV liquid enters the patient's body. At which point, like magic, it disappears. However, what if the amount of IV liquid had increased? So the opposite of what I...
Oh, okay.
All right, same idea, dang
In
it.
reverse.
You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much went in.
Actually, no, that's important because
Ahem!
apart from you just being gross, like, it's important because obviously when Valant got there, it will have been significant. There'd have been way less liquid in it because he got
Yeah.
there at 20 past. So by putting the liquid in, it makes it look like it happened before. So yeah,
Right.
so it does make sense.
Objection! Let me get this straight here, right? You're saying the witness watered down the victim's IV bag?
No.
Not with water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow.
Now, wait! I said wait! How might an amateur such as myself essay to perform such a task?
Objection!
Essay?
I'm an amateur too, but I can pour water into a cup. Objection! No, you can't. I haven't seen you do it. I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup. Bleh. Between a cup and an IV bag.
Between
Quite.
an cup and a IV.
Silence!
An cup.
Can you prove our witness is capable of such a feat?
He has a point, amateurs.
He has an point, amateurs.
Of course. I at least would have some difficulty pouring IV liquid into that bag.
The syringe. The syringa.
Syringe.
You don't need to be an expert to see the look on the witness's face. He added liquid to that IV to throw off the time of death. I tire of these fairy tales lacking evidence.
Well, Mr. Wright, any solid evidence to bring us back down to earth?
I think you mean liquid evidence, Your Honor.
Solid evidence, I don't know.
Valant Grammary.
We have the picture, but...
No, we've not got solid, Snake. We've only got liquid.
I'm afraid your magic won't serve you well in a life of crime.
Might I ask what you're strongly suggesting?
Oh, but that takes the mystery out of it. Magic relies on props, and props become evidence.
No.
Our witness was certainly able to increase the amount of IV liquid in the bag. All he had to do was work a little magic, and the prop was the syringe.
Oh, we actually have a full...
Yeah. Yeah, because it was the
I
insulin
said we
shot.
had a syringe.
Look, I forgot.
Did you not listen?
Syringe.
Taylor, I don't listen to you. You talk rubbish
Oh,
most
no,
of the time.
you don't,
Oh
but
my
Jesus. Take that! He used a gun. He poured the liquid onto the gun and shot it back into the
We
bag.
didn't point the gun. I just thought we didn't have a syringe. I thought we'd have to use the photograph again, where it had the picture of the syringe. I thought we had to present the picture of the syringe rather than the syringe. All right. Most of the time you have to do that.
The victim's syringe?
Syringe.
It's the perfect prop for the magically increasing IV trick. And easy enough for an amateur to use.
Phoenix has got so cocky.
Yes, I know.
So sassy.
Objection! What kind of evidence is that? The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it. Objection! And don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? What? The victim had the syringe to administer his insulin shots. There should have been traces of insulin left inside. Schadenfreude. Well, Valant Grammary, as you pointed out yourself, the IV liquid makes the perfect clock. One that you could manipulate at will.
What happened to my goddamn voice at that moment? that was just crazy.
But what did happen to Pete's goddamn voice at that moment? We'll have to find out next time.
I don't know.
I do believe, well, with this being his first, that the burden of this trial has been a bit too much to bear for Prosecutor Gavin.
Oof!
Oof. Ouchie.
Ouch!
I'm afraid that while there is a doubt as to the amount of IV liquid in the bag, the time of death cannot be proven. And that brings our trial to a close for today.
Boom.
Well, maybe I can squeeze an extra day out of this. I can do a little much-needed investigation work.
I see there are no objections. Court is adjourned.
Objection!
Surprise objection!
What is going on now?
Truly, there's no substitutes for experience. Nothing blinds one to the truth so effectively.
What?
What?
A word to the wise. Underestimate the young and they'll sweep your feet out from under you. In the way you never, ever expected. You see, I know exactly what you're thinking. Huh? What's he talking about? You say the witness used the syringe to manipulate the level of the IV liquid. But there is no proof. There's no proof he didn't do it either. Yes, quite true. Huh? He's admitting it? Usually they don't do that until they have a breakdown. Nor was this witness quite as decisive as I'd hoped. This, I admit, after all, why linger in the past when the future holds so much?
You have something in mind, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, a witness by the name of Herr Bruschel.
Oh, God.
We gotta deal with him in the past as well as the future. Proof,
then
Herr Judge.
And then that's you voicing 3 characters at once.
I have another way to prove my case. This evidence, no less.
Ah, this is
Diary.
This is where the diary comes in. The forged page.
What's this?
This is the victim Magnifi Grammary's diary. Diary? I thought only teenage girls had those. After going into the hospital, Magnifi began writing his memoirs, it seems. The story of his birth, his startling debut, and of meeting his disciples. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end, quite appropriately, with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say what the reason was, does it? The reason why his disciples couldn't refuse his last request?
Because he made
Sadly, it does not.
Because he made them on offer.
He couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
What's important here is on the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote in his journals that night, even after the IV had begun at 11 p.m. Let's read it, shall we?
The night's IV is in, maybe the last. I leave the rest to them. First assumption is journal may end here or may go on, but not longer. Oh, okay.
This does appear to have been written just before his death.
Oh no, is the page somewhere in the overworld that we have to find?
Oh, God.
The court accepts this into evidence.
But if we find too many pages, won't the Slender Man come and kill us?
No, it was a tunic joke, Pete.
Yeah, I know. I was just doing a different joke.
Oh.
But how can we defeat the darkness if we can't find the pages of Alan Wake's book?
That's it. If we don't have the pages to guide us,
Yeah, this is it. We're screwed.
then we're going to fall into the dark place.
I've never played Alan Wake.
God, what? You haven't put. God! God!
Sorry,
Pete,
I
come
was
talk to me when you've actually watched Moana.
I was just doing a you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's I speak. I act aghast in that British accent all the time.
The
actually.
turntables.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Read the very last part with particular care.
Schnook.
Schnook. This journal may end here, or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. And whether or not it was put out of commission in spectacular fashion.
You mother...
Of course, by his, he refers to our defendant, Zach Grammary.
But does he, though?
We'll have to find out next week.
Not yet!
Oh, no.
And I bumped the
Sarah
mic stands.
bonked.
I was indignant that you would suggest such a thing.
The boomom.
I would like.
Like, wait a minute.
I would like.
I would like to read my line correctly.
That's literally not there.
Pete, should not be chucking any stones from inside your glass house.
Listen, from
I would
from
took
my
a stone at
greenhouse.
his head.
Listen. What often happens with me is that I tried to read ahead, and I'll like read a word from further in. That was like just a straight up like those words just weren't there.
Wood was there.
What those words?
Because I went, I would.
Oh,
I wasn't there, but wood is.
Anyway.
What word was there?
Anyway.
That would make sense, yes. It was the first.
Oh, here we go.
You're gonna
You
need-
thought
you're
of
gonna
another
need some
joke now,
spe-
Taylor.
You're
Go
gonna
on.
need some spackle for that crack in your greenhouse there, by the way.
Uh-huh.
It was the first scheduled visitor, after all.
Why do you sound so annoyed, Herr Judge?
Oh, no reason.
Those voices, those ruddy voices in my head.
They're being rotten to me again.
Rotters.
They're bullying me.
Bully rotters they are, all of them.
I wasn't bullying you. I was saying anyway.
Pete
But
was
look at
bullying
what he
me.
said.
I was a little bit. Only a little bit, though. I was just
Before
amused.
that,
I was just amused by it. I wasn't trying to make fun of you.
this journal may end here, or it may go on. It may go on.
Much
like my heart.
Okay.
Oh!
Snap! I like that we both thought it at the same time.
Aww.
Even an ocean couldn't separate that train of thought.
Oh, you're so
In sync,
in
yeah.
sync, like Jack and Rose. Oh, now I'm just.
But
got
which
visions
one's
of you
Jack
on
and
the-
which one's Rose?
Well, I mean, I feel that Pete would chuck you into the ice. I think you'll end up being Jack, and Pete will be Rose.
Actually,
on the
I
door.
think that's probably right. I think, if Pete and I were both clinging to a door, he would just be like, there. It's okay.
And like, it is making me think perfectly of
The
this.
dropout?
The make some noise sketch. Where he's just like, oh my god, baby, oh my god. It's like,
Oh my God, it's the violinist. Hi, baby.
and he just completely ignores Jack. Who wants to come and stay on my door?
Who wants to come on my door?
Yeah. Which sounds, now that I'm
That
saying
sounds
that,
rude.
it's saying it in isolation, that sounds quite rude.
Magnifi Grammary intended to write again. That is, if Zach Grammary didn't pull the trigger. I see the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on. It ends.
Is the victim diary like another word for like a death note or something?
The victim died.
I write it in the victim diary.
It's the Wish version of.
The death note from Timu.
I just
want the
ordered
death
my
note.
victim diary from Timu.
Mom, I want the death note. We have the death note at home. Death note at home.
Victim diary.
Victim diary. Victim journal.
Because Magnifi's life was brought to an end by the defendant, Zach Grammary.
Dun dun dun.
Order! 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 Prosecutor Gavin, are you certain that Magnifi Grammary wrote this?
9. Yeah. There is no mistaking his handwriting. There is no way that it could be fraudulently recreated by some young teenage girl with blue hair.
That's very specific of you.
I wonder if it's going to be the missing page. That's going to be the forged one.
Yeah.
Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Magnifi did intend to continue his diary.
Guys, I know what happened. The force of the bullet knocked the page out of the diary.
Oh, that's it.
He tore it out.
Wow, that's a very strong bullet. It can rip
very
IVs
specific.
out of veins.
I mean, a bullet could do that. It's just more the,
Yeah, if
the
you
angle.
shot directly at
Just
it,
not
you blew
that
his arm off.
precisely.
Yeah. Not without damaging it or something.
Yeah.
Yet if his diary ended here, which plainly it did,
Then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor. Zach Grammary never minds the missing page that has very clearly been ripped out. You can ignore that bit. Well, how do you like me now? Yeah, right.
The hell?
It's another song.
No, I understand that.
Look, Pete.
I'm sorry I
We'll be
haven't seen
forgiven
Moana.
for assuming that you didn't know the song.
I'm sorry I haven't seen Moana for you, Taylor.
Oh my God! Not everything
Did you
is
call me
in Moana.
I know. That's the joke. It's a joke with it on another joke. The joke's got
Jokeception.
layers, like an onion, like Shrek.
Jokeception.
Jokes have layers.
Jesus Christ.
Still too green for your tastes?
Or perhaps yellow. If the joke was yellow, a Nick here in his blue suit might make it look green. Sorry.
He's right about the diary being pretty clear. Still, I find it hard to believe that he'd overlook such an obvious problem with his precious evidence.
well, Mr. Wright, the witness's testimony we heard was lacking. But put together with this evidence, it seems quite sufficient for a case.
If the diary is accepted like this, the trial's over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something.
Oh wait, so we do that.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
yeah.
this is the okay. I just completely forgot about that. Right.
Oh, or that's the forged
yeah.
page.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't Trucy give him that?
She did.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
They used the precious Trucy. No.
Unforgivable. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence.
What?
I said I have no choice but to show my own evidence.
I'm not deaf. I was just merely exclaiming in shock. Good grief, man. Just because I'm old and grey doesn't mean I've gone deaf and senile. You have some evidence that overturns this diary?
It's not too late to rethink this and avoid more embarrassment.
Very well. Please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright.
Incidentally, don't even think of showing us this diary. I've just shown the quote. Now that we've come this far, I hope you have something a little more... Again, I do feel like you should just be able to say, hey, this page was clearly ripped out. You don't even have to show that evidence. You can just be like, hey, there's clearly something ripped out of his diary. We don't know if he stopped or if someone just ripped it out. Show us evidence that proves the victim continued writing in his diary. All right, I'd be happy to. Thought. The decisive evidence proving that the diary didn't end with this page is... Take that! First, take a close look at this diary. I just said you could not show that. No tag backs. Note that a page has clearly been ripped out.
What's this? I hadn't noticed that at all.
Really?
That's why we're still here talking about this. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page.
Alec, I don't believe it!
I really feel like you need to work on your incantations. Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that night shot Magnifi Grammary. That's the defense's position.
Wait! Let me see that. What in Sam Hill?
Sam Hill.
Why, this is the continuation of the victim's diary.
At least only less than 10 swift minutes remain to all
And
those
10 swift minutes. Swift minutes.
Wimmits.
Minutes.
Ribbits.
Sarah, that was making fun of Pete, not you.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, I think we got him.
Note the torn edge of the page. It's a perfect match with the torn remains of the last page in Magnifi's diary.
That's bleeding impressive if she could match the rip marks on it on the page as well.
Well, they could have just torn the page out and then written on the torn page.
But then there'd be two torn pages. They'd have had to have picked out the previous
depend-
torn pages remnants.
It depends when the page was torn, doesn't it, I suppose? I was
I
thinking...
suppose.
I don't know.
Quite remarkable.
Would you care to explain what all this means, Herr Attorney?
Guilty!
The diary continued after his first visitor came,
Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Don't know what you're talking about.
which means that the victim was still alive after Zach Grammary left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor. Valant Grammary.
No! No! No, my birds!
The handwriting, too, matches that on the other pages. This is without a doubt the genuine article.
Guys, I've got a funny feeling that this isn't actually the genuine article.
Order!
Just pick it up
Order!
from Con.
Order!
But
Sorry.
wait! That's impossible! That old man couldn't have written that.
Objection! I was gonna.
That wasn't me.
Did it
Klavier?
freeze?
Klavier?
Kept you waiting, huh? Finally.
Oh, Taylor, that was... Oh.
What's that?
You just couldn't resist, could you, Herr Wright? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Herr Judge,
Yes, Prosecutor Gavin?
might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness.
What?
Oh.
All right then.
But Prosecutor Gavin,
This is awfully strange timing.
this evidence overturns the current witnesses.
I ask only to put it on hold. Please, my new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise, Your Honor.
Well, if you put it that way. Mr. Wright, what's your take on this?
No! Well, Your Honor, judging from his enthusiasm, we'll have to hear this new testimony sooner or later anyway. So it might as well be sooner. Hubris, Nicholas. Hubris.
Then, though this is highly, highly irregular, we will put the current cross-examination on hold. The witness may step down. Now, Prosecutor Gavin, please bring this surprise witness to the courtroom.
Is it going to be Trucy?
Oh, God.
I wouldn't think so.
No.
I
Sean's
had
just too young.
a bad feeling just then.
Is it going to be Zach?
That ripped out page was too obvious. He must have known. And I should have known it was a bad sign all around.
Oh, Drew.
Okay.
Okay, let's have a think. What to do?
Holding trial with no audience is a first, even for me, Prosecutor Gavin.
A trial with no audience.
Oh.
I beg the court's understanding. But I had to make a judiciary deal with the witness to secure his testimony. A judiciary deal?
Oh, okay.
The details of his testimony may have some, legal ramifications, shall we say? I thought it best to contain the information to this room.
Very well. And you are the witness, I gather.
Yes. Yes, sir.
State your name and occupation for the record.
My name's Drew Measham. I'm a painter.
Painter. And you are somehow related to this case?
But is he related to this case?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. We're going to have to find out next time, I'm afraid. We've run out of time. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
But in the meantime, if you do like what we do, then please consider giving us a like, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified of our video uploads every Wednesday and Saturday. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching, and we will see you next time.
We'll see you in the next one, everybody.
And remember to keep it classy, everyone. Don't get caught sneaking around.